My name is Marc Deschamps. I'm in charge of the international representation of Byrin, the health cluster of Wallonia. So ladies and gentlemen, it is really my pleasure today to present either the ecosystem of the Walloon region, which is the southern part of Belgium, below Brussels, and also Byrin, the cluster and your gateway to health, biotech, and medtech excellence. I would like first to start with the Belgian context. So as you can see on the slide at the bottom, you have 4 pillars. And really, Belgium is the biopharmaceutical innovation hub in the heart of Europe because of these 4 pillars. First, you have a world-class academic and research centers. We have also more than 200, even 300 biopharma companies, biotech, SMEs, and startups. Some of them are well known already. But we have also large pharma companies with headquarters, R&D sites, manufacturing and facility sites, like GSK Vaccines, Janssen, G&G, Janssen Pharmaceutica, UCB, for instance. And we have big suppliers and service providers and big CDMOs like MasterCells, recently bought by Catalent, Novacep, recently bought by Thermo Fisher, and Eurogentech as an example. Next to them, Universal is developing very, very fast. And the Belgian R&D model is really characterized by this strong integration of university and industry and the collaboration between them. But that's not everything, because you also need supportive government. And in Belgium, we have a very interesting combination of regulatory measures, tax measures, and incentive for the biopharma R&D. A good example of the strong collaboration between companies, universities, hospitals, regulatory agency, and ethics committee is the clinical trials. Belgium is a top country for clinical trials. We have 12 universities, 7 academic hospitals with a network of more than 70 top quality hospitals, and we are number 2 per capita in Europe in terms of clinical trials and number 2 in the world. What does it mean? It means that 15% of the new clinical studies launched in Europe are conducted from Belgium. And why is it so? Definitely because of the quality of the staff, but also because of the support of the regulatory authorities. We have the fastest phase 1 clinical approval rate in Europe. In 2 weeks' time, you can start your phase 1. And in 4 weeks' time, you can get your approval for a phase 2 or a phase 3. So it means that 1,500 clinical trials are up and running in Belgium. It was the case in 2017, and it remains the case today. Even when you have very complex clinical trials, like the CAR-T clinical trials, we have actually infrastructure and high-quality staff in each academic hospitals, and they are already participating to these trials. Next to that, we have a high concentration and a rapid recruitment of patients. So again, a good example of this collaboration. Now moving to Byrin, the life science cluster of Wallonia. Byrin was created in 2006 by the Walloon government. And really the mission of Byrin is really about innovation. It's to stimulate innovation, but to accelerate innovation and to connect the different actors to constantly accelerate this innovation. And the vision is clearly to continue to make Wallonia an internationally recognized region for its world-class academic, clinical, and industrial research environment. And the strategic domain of Byrin, you will see, are composed by 4 specific areas. But before, I would like to highlight the Byrin approach. So we gather at Byrin all the value chain you have in a life science ecosystem, starting with the public institution and the government, the companies, large, medium, small, startups, the research institutes, so the universities and the private institutes, the education organization for the development of talents, hospitals, and the capital providers, whether they are public or private. And the role of Byrin is definitely to connect this ecosystem to other clusters in Europe and around the world, where it makes sense, and global markets. I mentioned the smart specialization. We have 6 strategic domains, but in fact, if you look to the center of the slide, we have one big domain, which is biomanufacturing, bioproduction. So, which is called biopharmacy, cell therapy, and biomanufacturing. Next to this big one, we have, and absolutely not to neglect, a specific concentration of companies in radiation applied to health, medical device and in vitro, diagnostic, and data science. And the activities of Byrin are really centered around innovation. We support the initiation and the development of research innovation projects. That's really the DNA of Byrin. We support also the internationalization of our members and the growth of the SMEs, including a participation to the fundraising process. And we are also acting not at skills development, we are not providing trainings, but as strategic advisor for the authorities to make sure that the decisions they will take tomorrow, today and tomorrow will meet the needs in talent of the ecosystem today and tomorrow as well. About Wallonia. So Wallonia, as I said, is a region at the very heart of Europe. This is the southern part of Belgium, below Brussels. And in Wallonia, we have a very strong network. So we have the 6 universities, and the blue dots are the innovative companies, as you can see, very concentrated in the science park next to the universities. And it's really, really, really easy to collaborate because from one extreme to another, it is just 1 hour drive. And for a region of 3.6 million inhabitants, we have more than 50,000 people working directly or indirectly for the biopharmaceutical industry. And the growth of the employment since 2005 is very, very strong, 7.7% for all companies. If you just take the SMEs, the basis is lower, the growth is higher, 13%, but you will see that it is really exponential. Also for the cumulative private capital raised by these SMEs. Since 2005 and up to mid-September 2020, the SMEs raised 2.9 billion euros. We have also private R&D investment, really significant, 1.2 billion a year. And the biopharmaceutical industry in Wallonia represent now even more than 20%, 27% of the total Wallonia export. It is about 33% currently. And I would like to come back to Byrin. As I mentioned at the beginning, research innovation projects are really the DNA of the cluster. And as you can see, between 2006 and 2019, Byrin supported 49 research innovation projects. Much more today, but at least until 2019, 158 million euros non-dilutive money were raised to support the development of new IP, new products, and new startups. To come back to the growth of the employment and to focus on the SMEs on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see that the last 4 years, 2015, 2018, there is really an exponential. So the SMEs created until 2018, 2.7 thousand FTEs, but you see that there is an acceleration, and it is a good testimonial of the fast development of the ecosystem today, the fast development of the biotech companies and the CDMO companies. If we look now to the spread of the 158 Byrin Walloon members by strategic domain, again, the big chunk is biomanufacturing. So you see 31 companies in biopharmacy, 18 in biomanufacturing, and 8 in cell therapy. Specific also to Wallonia, cell therapy, but also specific is the radiation applied to health, the 11 companies specialized in that field. Next to that, we have 42 medical device and in vitro diagnostic companies, 12 in data science, which is emerging now, and 35 support and services companies. But now, if we look to the breakdown of FTEs among these 158 companies, as I said at the beginning, the big chunk of the activity in Wallonia is really biopharmacy, biomanufacturing, and cell therapy. More than 75% of the employment in 2018 was dedicated to these activities. Again, 1,000 people are working in radiation applied to health, more than 1,000 in medical device and in vitro diagnostic, 250 in data sciences, and 1,000 in support and services company. Coming back to the private capital raised by the SMEs, I mentioned this acceleration. You can see in the middle of the slide, you have the cumulative curve between 2005 and September 2020. And on the right-hand side of the slide, you have a bar, and each slice of the bar is a year. And you see that since 2015 up to September 2020, more than 60% of the 2.9 billion euro were raised. It means that, again, there is an acceleration in the development of our biotech and medtech companies, but also CDMO companies in Wallonia. And now looking to the members of the cluster, we have a very diversified ecosystem. We had in total in 2019, 234 members, among them 10 global leaders, like GSK Vaccines, UCB Pharma, like Baxter. We have also Zoetis in Pfizer Animal Health. We have big CDMO like Polypeptide, Eurogentech. We have Snexi also for the analysis, and 2 companies in radiation applied to health, world leader in their field, IBA in prototherapy, and IRE in the production of radioisotope. And again, as I mentioned also, Master Cells, which is a big CDMO in cell therapy, is now bought and acquired by Catalent. Next to the 10 global leaders, we have 187 innovative SMEs, including the 158 Walloon companies. We have 5 universities, including 400 research units, 7 private research centers, 11,000 researchers in total, and 20 hospital beds. And if you are developing your activity in Wallonia, or if you want to develop activities in Wallonia, whether you want to be located in the center, the south, or the east, or the west of the country, you will have access to different talent pool to allow you to find the right people, either for the R&D, for the production, for the bioproduction, for the GMP room, to really support your activities in the region. So it was my pleasure today to present Byrin and the ecosystem of Wallonia, the Walloon region. If you want to contact me, you can see my details here, and I wish you a very nice day. Thank you for your attention.